Alright everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today's Saturday and I'm going to get started cutting this patch to fit this place we cut out here. And I think what I'm going to do first is lay the old metal on top of the patch and mark it, and then take some measurements to see how much I need to move off the mark. The mark should be too low on this, so I should have to move up some, but I don't think it's going to be straight across, so I'm going to need to figure out some way of marking that, and I'll bring it back. Alright, so what I did is I laid this piece on top of this piece and I marked it, which is this line right here. And then I took some string, the string right here, and I measured from the top of the cut to this ridge right here, and I marked that right here, this little white line. And I did the same thing from the bottom to the top of the cut, from the bottom to the top of the cut, which was right here. I marked that, and I run me a tape, and you can see it's pretty much equal distance off that line. Remember, with that piece sitting on here, it's pushed it back some, almost a half an inch. And then on the end here, I squared it off, because I squared off this cut. I squared that cut off, so I didn't really follow the tape line on the end. I just squared it. So now for the moment of truth, I'll cut right on the bottom of this tape right here, or it'll be the top to me. And just cut it right across there. Now, as far as being able to bend that in, I'll see what I can do. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to bend it like a factory bend. I wish I had a metal brake, but even thinking a metal brake, I could do it. But we'll do what we can. The bumper, they won't show unless you're just looking. If you open the tailgate, you might be able to tell it. But anyway, let me get this cut, and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so I got this thing cut, and I got it prepped, and I'll put it up here. And of course, I'm a little off on my cutting. On this end, I cut it just a hair short on this wheel well. It's supposed to be like that right there. This is actually supposed to have a tack weld in the bottom of it. So somehow or another, I cut that thing probably a 1/4 inch short or more. Now we can make it work. That ain't no issue. Not at all. I mean, there's some pretty good cracks. I may have to come back and trim a little off here and here to get a little closer. I mean, I can put that thing right up against there, just about on this end here. The problem is this little brace is hanging down a good bit. I mean, you can't really see it. It's going to be kind of under it, but I know it's there. Have a little bit more crack that I'd like to have in through here is a bit more special. I got it way off my down cutting blade. That's I think what I'm going to do now is tack it right here. It's going to be so close. Now we're going to have to either push up or push down to get this lined up. Tack that right there, but I think I'm going to get it right here first. Alright, I'm going to try to pull down a little bit. And we'll have another little pretty good sized crack right there. I probably need to go ahead and drill me a hole for a spot weld. Probably need to on these other ones too. So before I go much further, give you an overview where we're at. So there's supposed to be a spot weld on this right here. That'll hold that down. And then of course there's going to be some spot welds in this area on the edge here. So I need to drill me some holes and basically just start stitching it. I cut off a little bit of that bracket, but it's still, y'all can tell, it's still a little bit down low. I don't think you'd ever be able to see it on the truck though, because the way it curves on the body. It is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some holes drilled, some spot welded, and get this stitched up, and I'll bring you back, show you what it looks like. Alright, so after, you know, about an hour or so of stitching, I think I've about got it sewed up. I went ahead and left these little holes. I didn't try to fill them. There's one there, and there's one big one right here. Now, one of these big ones, I think it's this one right here, I probably know how to drill out because that's where the that metal piece goes, and I'm guessing the other one, the end of that goes right here. So that's a good, you know, go ahead and leave that. That way when I drill it out, I know exactly where to go back with. Now you can see the difference in depth right here between where this one ends and where this one ends. Of course, that's aftermarket crap. So what I thought about doing is just take a cutoff wheel and just cut just a little bit below there around, and maybe just straight down to here, and then try to bend that in. I don't think I can bend that big piece in right there. I just don't believe I'll be able to do it. So, you know, the factory one was bent all the way down to this edge right here, just curled over, and I ain't too worried about this. But this right here, you would be able to see from the tailgate. With the tailgate down, you'd be able to see that it's just sticking out. So that's going to have to be whacked off or bent over or something. I just have got done welding this up. This is probably the worst of it. It's had a pretty big gap right here. And right now everything's fairly cool. So I'm going to start grinding. Now you have to be careful. This is a long, straight panel here. So if you get it too hot, it'll start warping and weaving. So what I did was, as I was welding, I'd take this damp rag and I'd kind of, cool it off a little bit, and then I'd take my glove off and I'd feel, and if it was too hot to touch, I wouldn't weld right there. I'd go on to somewhere else that wasn't so hot. So I'm going to take my time and grind that down so I don't warp that panel. So let me get that done and I'll get right back. Alright, so lots of grinding and cooling. Use this rag right here. Help cool it off. I grind a little bit and cool a little bit. And I've got a high spot right here. It's going to have to be knocked down. I got a low spot right here. You can see where the weld didn't quite penetrate good on one side. I'm not worried about that. What I don't want to do is fill up these holes though. But I'm going to put some Duraglass across here. I'm going to take my hammer and tap this down and get rid of this high spot. And I'm going to Duraglass these spot welds right here and here, and also now this one turned out pretty good. You can't even see where I welded it. So don't really need to Duraglass that, but I will do this part and just try to save from filling in these holes. That one I ain't worried about. Actually, I could probably go back and fill that in with weld if I was a mind to. It wouldn't hurt nothing, but I think right in here is where it was kind of wide or something. I don't know, but anyway, I guess the patch was just a hair below the metal here, and just a little bit of a lip right there. So we'll have a little low spot. No problem. Just I'll finish grinding this down. I'm gonna grind it with some 80 grit across here, make a big swoosh, and throw some Duraglass on there and call it a day. Alright, final view. I've got the Duraglass on. I had a little waddled out my holes a little bit where I can find them later. And I'm gonna have to do a lot of work around here. I don't think I should have put the Duraglass on this side, but went ahead and did it. I'm gonna have to. There's gonna be a lot of sanding to do when this stuff cures. So until tomorrow, thanks for watching, and please rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't.